planting at roughly about 17-inch spacing, 16 to 17-inch spacing, and then when we go down to 2 rows, we sort of, well, vary on varieties, but I mean we're going anything from 10 to 12-inch spacing. On the 2 row, we will be on 30-inch rows, and when we're with a 3 row, we're down to 15. And we think probably next year we might on 3 rows sort of put it out to 17 to give us a bit more room in the machine.
And what did he think of the Standon planter?
So far the machine has gone very well, and we're very pleased with it.
A later look at a 3-row planted crop showed the quality of work achieved by the Standon, the even plant population, the regular emergence and the absence of gaps. Having prepared the soil for planting, it's to planting into that soil that we shall now turn. There are some in the industry who are claiming that planter development seems to be slowing down. Well, this may be true for some suppliers, but not for Standon. For 1995, we're seeing the full introduction of the new super big 2- and 3-row models, of the automatic depth control system, of the electronic space selector, and of a new big ridging body. We'll start by looking at each planter model in turn, viewed first under construction in our Ely factory and then in the field. The range starts with the Model 20, which will plant at rows between 28 and 36 inches. This particular machine is fitted with the new big-bodied platypus ridges. This new Standon Model 20, filmed in Essex, has been farmer modified to match his all-terrain loader's extra-wide 1-ton bucket. The grower was very pleased with it.
We've been very pleased with the machine. It does a good job on spacing. We're planting at the moment large 45-55 Romano seed at a very tight spacing of about 28 centimetres. The spacings have been very good. As you can see, we're on some fairly stiff Essex clay, which is marginal land for growing potatoes, and the planter has performed exceptionally well in terrible spring conditions.
That's the point. The Standon planter will go in what many would see as marginal conditions. Not all springs are dry, as 1994 will remind many viewers. Before turning our attention to the new 1995 product, we'll remind ourselves of the principal feature of all Standon planters, the electronically controlled belt feed system. For the sake of filming, the hopper has been allowed to nearly empty, to show how the belts trickle the tubers through to the cup feed area. An electronic monitor senses the number of potatoes in the cup feed area, and this, via electromagnetic clutches, is what controls the belt feed. The benefit is that chits are retained, very accurate seed delivery is achieved, and a better crop results. Growers on hillsides will also benefit because the system will compensate for differing angles of work. This Norfolk farmer uses a 3-row Standon planter, although in this field it's being used in 2-row form. What's special about this planter is that it's fitted with the Standon space selector option. This device allows the operator to both set and monitor seed spacing from the cab. The normal chain drive to the cup feed system is replaced by a hydraulic motor. The oil flow to this motor is monitored by sensors, which increase or decrease the flow under command of a cab-mounted control box. The left-hand figures show the desired spacing. The right-hand, what is actually being achieved. Change the desired spacing and watch the actual spacing follow. Useful where field conditions vary, or when planting headlands, or where varieties change. The system also allows the planting action to be switched off at the headland, which eliminates the problem of uncovered tubers at the end of each row. For 1995, the space selector will also give a monitor of tuber numbers. And so to the new big boy planter. It's one big planter. A substantial chassis carries a 1.5-ton hopper, and the planter itself, being wider than normal, can make 1.7 metre wide beds. It can be ordered as either a 2-row or as a 3-row machine. So what about three-row planting? It was in 1991 that Standon introduced their first three-row planter, its major feature being its forward-stepped middle row. This allowed fast forward speeds to be achieved with no loss of the planter's traditional planting accuracy. Row spacings of 15 to 17 inches could be achieved. But now wider row spacings are needed, and that's where the big boy comes in. Let's look first at its automatic depth control system. Back in the factory, a unit is being tested. It's simple enough. As the depth wheel moves up and down, so the hydraulic rams open and close, assuring absolute evenness of planting depth. We'll close this part of the film by taking a visit to Nottinghamshire to film one of the 5 big boy planters at work on well-known grower Tony Strawson's farm. Here's Mr. Strawson's view.
Andy, I'm pleased to see you here filming today. The planters that we bought, the 5 planters, are going well and things are going according to plan. Depth control is a key part of our operation, an accurate depth control, and on this Standon planter we have an automatic hydraulic depth control system. A further point is the belt feed system on the Standon planter. Today we're planting chitted seed, and with this belt feed it's giving sort of very little damage to the chits on the seed potatoes. This is the first year we've gone on to a 2 metre system, and we're planting 3 rows in that 2 metre. Output per day, I would think, is about 2 acres an hour, maybe 3 acres an hour, and good going, good filling up without chitted seed. Reliability is good, and I've nothing but praise for the planter.
So that's Standon's new planters, something there to interest any grower. If you get the planting right, everything else should follow, 2-row or 3-row.